We should be live. Huh? Did you see the...
So what is the policy with using IPs as configuration for flyers? Let's say SpongeBob. Okay, gotcha, thank you. That's what I thought. That's why I was thinking about the jellyfish juice. They have very specific look to them. That's why I was asking. Like the design with like the
I call to order the February 3rd meeting of the Student Government Association. We are live streaming and being recorded. Please review your agendas while Jacob is roll call.
Angelina Casella.
Here.
Zara Rivet.
Here.
Christopher Lannon.
Here.
DeAngeliz Ozuna Sandoval.
Here.
Raul Rosario. Brenna Giuliani.
Here.
Luke Staley.
Here.
Will Honorado.
Here.
Alyssa Hannafin.
Here.
Raymond Croto. Sophia Rodenko. Aiden Gomez.
here.
Fabian Morales.
Here.
Lucia Sadura.
Here.
Liv Kearney.
Here.
Carly Biemendorfer.
Here.
Cole DeSantos.
Here.
Matthew Kusha.
Here.
Ali Sutherland.
Here.
Maria Renta Marrero.
Here.
Are there any corrections to the minutes from December 9th, 2025? Chris Lamb.
I move to amend the minutes to include the dialogue from the Finance Committee report, as well as change the language surrounding what club leaders can submit finance proposals to include president or, and then instead of president or treasurer.
I haven't done this yet. Oh, okay. Are there any seconds?
Second.
Moved and seconded to amend the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And abstentions?
Aye.
Motion carries. Are there any other amendments to the minutes? Okay. So, pending the correction.
Sorry.
Pending those amendments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So then the minutes are approved pending those amendments. And now for your president's report, Justin Wong.
All right, I don't think the minutes have been amended since Dan Courier was here, so pardon me, I'm a bit rusty. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our first meeting of the year. Returning for a second time, we have Vice President of Administration and Finance, Steve Tasksar, Director of Dining Services, Melissa Sikes, and Director of Residential Life, Chris Willenbrook, for the second round of the fees and tuition presentation. So give them a nice round of applause.
As I said last time, I love coming here because it's the only time people apply. We have a very brief presentation tonight, and I want to thank you for building us in your schedule. I know you've had a lot of other stuff to do, but I think it's sort of important, and we're glad we're able to be here tonight to kind of wrap up what we are going to present. We're changing up the lineup a little bit, so Chris Willenbrook will give the first presentation about residential life. And then Melissa Sikes will do her presentation on dining, and then I'll wrap it up with kind of a campus overview at the end. So, as I mentioned earlier, we will take all your questions and answer any questions you have, and if we don't know the answer, we'll find out and get back to you. So this is designed to be as much educational as it is informative. So That's all I really have to say right now, but I'll ask Chris to come up and do their piece.
All right, good evening! Woo! Yes, you know, this time last week we were having a wicked awesome snowstorm, cleaning up from a wicked awesome snowstorm. Who likes the snow? Yes. All right, well, I love it. So I was very, very happy. Sorry to miss this, but happy to be back this week. As VP Tasksar said, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our residential life updates. What I want to start off with is a little bit of our survey data. So quick show of hands, how many of you did our Sky Factor survey? Yes, thank you, thank you. Last time we were here, we did a big drawing for our first pick in our housing selection, but I wanted to show just some highlights, and if you all would like, I'm happy to come back, go through more of the data. If you want to sit down and go through more of the data one-on-one, happy to do that. Just want to show a couple of highlights in terms of what came back from you all and from, I believe, the 541 students who filled out our survey. So overall, there were three kind of big factors that we looked at: satisfaction, learning, and the overall program effectiveness. So what is this kind of living on campus, our residential experience? Underneath each of these were several different factors, but as you can see, overall, the benchmark for this, our goal, was a 5.5. For each of these, we actually have hit the goal and gone a little bit over. So overall, we're doing fairly well in terms of satisfaction, again with a whole host of different factors, doing fairly well in terms of the learning that's coming out from living on campus, and then the overall program effectiveness. One of the things I was curious about, because in the last couple of years, we've shifted our residential program to create 2 first-year halls. Anyone know what they are? Shout them out. Courtney and Davis, yes. And what that means is that our other halls have become a little bit more focused in terms of having upper class students as well. So I was curious to see, did that have any impact on folks? And lo and behold, when we think about, in terms of highlights and demographic information, this is what came out in terms of our population by building. So as you see, Davis Hall had kind of the highest satisfaction. If you can't see, it's 5.78. So again, 5.5 is kind of our benchmark. Followed by Uni. Who's in Uni? Yeah, Uni represent. Courtney Hall. So interestingly, our 2 first-year communities are near the top in terms of satisfaction. So our first-year students are hopefully having a great experience. At least they're telling us that they are. New Hall, Welch, Dickinson, and Seymour kind of following up at the bottom. But again, they were still within, it says, 0.2 of our goal, 5.5. So even though they fell a little bit short, for Dickinson, the satisfaction rate was 5.46. Seymour at 5.41. So what's nice, if you all can see down here, if you're in red, it's like a typical kind of stoplight. Red indicates a lower level of satisfaction, so it's whatever falls underneath that goal. And luckily, it looks like by hall, most of our students are having a fairly good experience. Our first year students and those in uni seem to be having a particularly good experience. So just wanted to kind of highlight some of that data. So what are we doing well? What areas need improvement? This is where there was a lot of information. This is where I'm going to talk at you for a very quick moment, but feel free to take notes and happy to answer questions. So what are we doing well? What came up in the data is personal interactions. That scored very highly, and these are things like meeting people, living in community, resolving conflicts, and just kind of an increase in interpersonal relationships. So that came up as something that we're doing very well, and a sense of community. And so the factors within that were trusting others, respecting others, and feeling accepted. So I was happy to see that those were 2 of the areas that we seem to be doing pretty well with. Areas that need improvement. The data came out with 3 kind of top priorities for us to focus on. The first one is room assignments. So thinking about the ease of the process. I see some nodding. Yes, Brenna, please. Choice. Roommates. We don't have too much that we can do with that except trying to put, folks who get along together. Room type and building, so that kind of encompassed the whole room assignment piece. And I will say that we are working with Travis and with a housing committee through SGA. We're going to be talking more about the housing assignment process, getting more of your feedback. Hopefully you all can get more hall reps so that we can do more of that, but looking to improve our room assignment process for sure. Self-management was the second factor that arose as an area of improvement. So this included things like learning about money management, time management, problem solving, balancing social life and academics, and then kind of wellness or living a healthy lifestyle. So that was sort of the second factor. And the third one was sustainability. And so really this was two different factors, being able to discuss issues of sustainability and then living a sustainable lifestyle. So those were the three areas that were identified as kind of more priority pieces for areas of improvement. Again, happy to talk through any other data, but wanted to do kind of a quick overview for you all today. Again, shifting into some of the specifics in terms of next year. Again, we're happy that folks are having a positive experience. We're getting good data back. For next year, I think coupling that with the fact that we're very affordable in terms of looking at our rates overall in terms of the Commonwealth. Again, like I mentioned back in the fall semester, when thinking about this, we actually have 3 separate rates. So we have a multiple occupancy, which is like double, triple, quad. We have a design single rate, so a single room for 1 human, 1 set of furniture. And then we have the super single rate, which is 1 person in a double room, triple room, quad, if you're so lucky. And so because we have those 3 rates across the board, a lot of our sister institutions have different prices based on the type of building. So at a Fitchburg State, for instance, a university might cost more than a Courtney. And so when you average all of that out, our rates are still some of the lowest in terms of being across the Commonwealth. So just wanted to highlight that again. And these are our room rates for next year. So a standard room, again, multiple occupancy, double, triple, quad. We'll be looking at $46.50 for the semester, $93 for the year. Our design singles will be at $4,900 for the semester, $98 for the year. And our super singles will be at $56.50 for the semester and $11.3 for the year. Again, that was basically a 3% increase. We talked a little bit about that in the fall, fairly standard increases. And then our super single, we continue with the $1,000 per semester buyout rate. So this is what you all can expect for rates for next year. Happy to answer any questions, but I believe I will go ahead and transition into Melissa, and then we'll kind of loop back at the end for any questions you all may have. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and I was with most of you last Tuesday, just not in this room, but in the dining hall. So instead of picking up snow, we were all here playing in it together. So I do appreciate that. Well, thank you for having us back, and I just want to, again, I know we're all wondering what the rates are going to be, but I did want to highlight some new things that we did in dining over the winter break into this break. You know, we changed up some of our menu items. We have sushi once a week. We have hot sandwiches every Thursday. We started going back to a lot of scratch cooking. So you'll see a lot of new recipes and flavors being reintroduced. So if you haven't ate at the dining hall, I suggest you do so. And I really hope you enjoy your experience. Big thing that came out of food committee just recently that we didn't plan for was ice cream being the soft serve machine 5 days a week and making it more of an ice cream bar, because as we know in New England, ice cream sales and consumption does not change. Everybody loves their ice cream. If you don't follow us on the dining page, I suggest you do. We have more weekly events with the dietitian, more collaborating events with sale coming up, restaurant night, and other things going on in our retail operation. So the best way to find out any new information we're rolling out is to follow us on Instagram or the Facebook page. So just some of the partners that we have been working with. I just want to shout out to the Westfield VOTAG school that we have been working with. We actually got a seat on their board, so we are now board members partnering with them and being able to train their students, and a couple actually have applied here in the fall as well through the program that we do internships with. So as we get in, these are our this year's current meal plan prices and the structure we have now. I just want to add that slide. As we look at next year, we're keeping a lot of the same popular ones, but looking with what we've gathered from data, listening to students, is looking at a flex plan, a 21 meal flex plan that you can eat anywhere on campus. Yes, it is geared towards more like retail eating. The price may be a little bit, scary compared to the other ones, but compared to other sister universities that do have this, they're about $300 to $400 this year more than this plan, and about 100 meals less through the semester. So we looked at the price point to keep it, friendly to the students and giving the offerings where they want. We also looked at the Commuter 5 plan, which was underutilized, and looking at a new dining commuter plan with 80 meals that they can come, eat lunch, feel more of the community, be in the dining hall, and have a little bit better connectivity on campus, because we have learned that through the Commuter Council. Everything else kind of stayed the same with a slight increase. And then the meal exchange, where it was 1 per meal period, we're looking at 3 a day, use it however you want instead of limited per meal period. So hopefully this will help navigate some of the needs or internships, externships. Let's face it, on a cold day you want to grab a sub and you don't want to go back out. All understandable. So this is able to help flex the way you guys eat and what your needs are at the time. Price comparison this year to some of our sister institutions. As you see, we're still pretty low on the average compared to other schools and universities. Fitchburg's a little bit better, but we also give more in the dining plan. We have more meal exchange, we have more guest meals, so all those kind of offset, with the cost. If we're looking at, what we're projecting for next year's prices to other universities that haven't been published, we'll still be in that lower fields compared to everybody else. And that's it. I kept it short and sweet for you.
So I'm not going to go over, do I need to use this? Should I use this, or? Can you hear me if I don't? Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to really retread anything that I talked about last time. Last time was kind of setting the base for how we're thinking about tuition and fees going forward. So I'll just hit the highlights. So just a recap of how our different fees get set. There are multiple categories of fees, and they get set in different ways. So the first one is the tuition, annual tuition number. This gets set by the state. And the way Massachusetts sets tuition and fees is very different than how other states operate. Suffice to say that the tuition that's being established has not changed in probably 20 years. So the legislature wants to claim that they haven't raised tuition. The campuses need to increase fees to fund everything on the campus. So the tuition has stayed static for many, many years. The Board of Trustees will approve the mandatory fees that we are proposing going forward in February. So mandatory fees are fees that apply to all students, all full-time undergraduate students. So it's the general fee, your student activity fee, the technology fee, and we consider residential life fees for room and dining board plan fees for dining. So all of these fees apply to students who are either residential students or full-time undergraduate students. So The Board of Trustees will review our recommendations and then make their decision based on what the campus is going to recommend in a few weeks. The MSCBA, which is the Mass College State College Building Authority, they actually own the residence halls on all the campuses. And so they have the authority to kind of jointly set the fees for next year in addition to each campus making their recommendations. So at the end of the day, the MSCBA does control final fee setting for our residence halls. Lastly, we have course and lab fees and program fees, and these are set by the campus. So they do not necessarily go to the Board of Trustees for approval. They will go to the Board of Trustees for information. We request proposals from various units on campus. Those proposals get reviewed by the cabinet. The cabinet makes a recommendation to the president, and the president makes her final decision on course and lab fees. And I have a separate slide in here that I'll go through with you in a little more detail. So those are the combination of fees that we have moving forward for next year, or at least at the campus level. These are the fees that are lining up right now in terms of what we see happening next year. Tuition and mandatory fees would increase by about 2.5%. I have another slide that has the numbers on there in terms of dollars. And so, for example, a full-time commuter student who's not living on campus would pay an average of 2.5% more next year than this year. And I'll show you how that gets calculated. Dining, I think you heard, and residential life, they were recommending 3% increases. The cost of food away from home is actually increased over 4%. So they still have to figure out ways to make their budgets work with a 3% increase. And the total cost of attendance, when you add it all in for a residential student next year, combining the 3% on dining and residence life and the 2.5% on the tuition and mandatory fees, the calculation comes down to about 2.8% higher next year than this year, which is really running at about inflation. Inflation is running, I think the last I heard was 2.7. The January report will be out in a few days. I'm not sure where that's going to end up, but it'll probably be in the same ballpark. So at the end of the day, what does this all mean? You may not be able to read it, but all we've done here is we've taken the current fees, we've added the 2% change, so you can see that in dollars what this really means. So mandatory fees for last year were $12,616. When you apply the 2.5%, you get $12,935 or 34, and that's a $318 increase over the prior year, the current year. The math runs down the same way for all the other fees. I would only point out that on room and meal plans, we use an average, we pick the most predominant plan that's used. We use that to do the math because there are different cost implications for each different choice that a student makes. So when it all adds up, the bottom line ends up being about $26,854 this year for a full-time residential student. Bottom line is it'll go up about $745, or as I mentioned, the 2.8%. So that barely keeps the university even with inflation. We're running scenarios right now on next year's budget. These increases will not be enough to maintain our current budget without the university making other budget adjustments that are necessary to balance the budget. So this does not cover the full cost of what we see happening next year. It's a partial offset to the cost structure of the university. The last piece that I'll talk a little bit about are course and lab fees. We've had a situation for the last several years where support for academic departments has been very constrained. We've had ongoing enrollment challenges. The last couple of years it's been a little bit better, but that doesn't mean that department operating budgets or budgets to support academic instructional costs have kept pace. So there's been an effort to review those budgets and look at the courses that require more resources in order to provide the quality instruction that are needed, primarily in the art and supply area and some of the science courses. There's more equipment that's needed, more supplies that are needed, so those are now being built into those operating budgets in a way that can sustain ongoing supplies and equipment and repair. We also have some technology dollars in here for some of the business courses that require more sophisticated software and hardware for some of those activities. So what this means, if you look at the chart, the fees range from about $25 to about $100 for the geography of liquor beverages course. The first year student fee is going up by about $20 over this past year in order to support the programming cost of running that particular program. I've also highlighted, or at least calculated and shown, how many courses these fees apply to. So if you're taking multiple courses that are being supported by these fees, there will be additional charges based on this grid and what's already been approved by the cabinet and the president. So this has been a little bit of a change in what we've done in the past, but there's a strong feeling that we need to really provide more resources to the courses that cost more to run. And this is one way that it can be done. I have worked at many other schools across the country, and this is a very common approach when it comes to supporting instructional costs for courses that cost more to run. So we have not done a lot of that here at Westfield, but this is something that we're implementing now. So I think that's about it for the formal presentation, but can open it up to questions that you may have about anything we presented or anything else we can answer or help you out with.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for our guests? Jacob Nelson.
Hello, thanks for coming down, all three of you. Is it possible to get this presentation sent to me so I
Yeah.
can send it to the rest of the senators, only because in case people that couldn't see it being so far away?
Absolutely, yeah.
Luke Stanley.
I just have a quick question about first year residential life. Does residential life look to continue to use Courtney and Davis as the first year only house?
Great question. So yes, and I think based on, sorry, I don't know if I'm yelling at your head. I'll come here, yay! Woo! All right. Yes, good question, Luke. So the plan is to continue to have Courtney and Davis, assuming that our first year numbers match. They seem to be a good, both buildings fit that population pretty well. It's nice that they're closely connected in terms of proximity to each other. The traditional style seems to work very well for our first year populations, and they seem to be enjoying it. So that is still the plan. Again, anything can happen, so I can never guarantee or promise anything, but at least as of right now, that's the projection moving forward.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris Landon.
Hi all, thank you for coming down. I just want to give sort of a recommendation, what I think would benefit the student body the most, and that is for Chris and Melissa specifically to sort of host maybe like info sessions or open forums to give these presentations to students, so that way students know where their money's going. I know a lot of students, like, if we weren't involved, we wouldn't really know where our dollar's going. And I think that would really help answer some questions maybe and concerns, and also kind of tie into maybe if students have concerns about dining in res life. I did also want to ask you, now I just thought about it, how have you guys in res life sort of perceived that students, do they like living in the first floor Davis better than the honors housing in fifth floor Union past years, or what have you been hearing about that?
Good question. Actually, I can go back into our Sky Factor data to see if there's anything specifically about that. What we are hearing anecdotally is that the fourth floor Davis community has been very strong. Oh, so this year we had a first year honors community on the fourth floor of Davis, and then we had an upper class honors community on the first floor of University. So what we're thinking about for next year, we may move the upper class community somewhere else within University. It may not be on the first floor. It may return to the fifth floor, which is where it's been historically, because there's some good, in terms of the community size, good number of beds. There are some study spaces that are there that lend themselves well to a living learning environment. And the 4th floor Davis Honors community has been very strong this year. We're already hearing that a lot of those students, we've created kind of a nice pipeline. A lot of those students are very interested in continuing to live together as a cohort in university next year. So that's some of what we're hearing initially. And so that's, again, kind of informing our plans.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Zara Ribbit.
Hi.
Hi.
So I have a question about the apartment complexes.
Yeah.
So I know that you guys are working on those, and I don't know how that is gonna transfer for next year as well, like if they're gonna be open or if they're like alternating what ones are open, and if that's gonna like cause like a crunch.
Great question. Great question. So the apartment complex. So right now we were able. So I know I'm going to be a little bit get into semantics only because I want to be very clear with expectations. Some folks have been saying that they're getting renovated. Renovation is like really fun and sexy. They're getting repairs. So they're getting like basic plumbing repairs, which is also fun and sexy, but in a very, very different kind of foundational way, right? So, you know, it's not going to be like the end of a home improvement show. But at any rate, it's going to be great. And so Welch ended up getting the plumbing repairs done over the summer. They are good to go, at least for now. Conlin is the building that's currently offline that we're working on. The construction company is a couple of weeks out. I'll be very honest, we did have a pipe burst in one of the Conlin towers over the weekend. Not one of the fun things with home ownership and pipes, but in the cold weather. But we did have that, so that will probably delay the project by a couple of weeks. That having been said, Seymour residents are staying in Seymour for the duration of the semester. We're going to finish up Conlin, get it good and sound, and then we will move on to Seymour for the summer. And so the hope is that we will have all 3 apartment buildings back online for next year. Which will help. I know I've shed many tears over Lammers. I would love to bring Lammers back. I know we need our own SGA meeting to talk about Lammers. But that would hurt a little bit. But having Lammers and one of the apartment buildings offline really created a crunch for us this year. And so we should have all 3 back. And we're really looking forward to having access to all 3 of those apartments because we know that it's really desirable space for students. So. Long-winded answer to your question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any further? D'Angeli's is there a hand up?
Hi.
So are these rates are gonna be same for graduate students in the Welch building?
Good question. Yes. So the rates are the same for grad students unless you're in the PA program. I say that only because the PA students have access to short-term housing in a little bit different way. But yes, the rates will be the same.
Also, me and my friends were the one who reported the pipe.
Thank you! Thank you!
Like, literally, we were walking, it was like 11 p.m., and then we just see water running down, and then we're like, that's not normal.
That's not right. Thank you. Yeah.
You know, we're currently working through that process to figure out who's responsible for that. In construction projects, there's a lot of this goes on. So, but we're working with the MSCBA right now on insurance claims and all the back end stuff. So once, you know, we're not going to wait till that gets sorted out. We're going to keep pushing ahead, and then we'll figure out kind of how that gets resolved later on. So to Chris's point, we have every intention of finishing before the fall semester, and we really have to. So we'll do everything we can to make sure that happens.
Hi, thank you so much all for coming out here. My question is about Jedi housing. I believe it's on the 1st floor of Newhall.
Yeah.
How has reports from the survey come back from there? Are there any expectations for moving like the honors program, or is it just going to stay there?
Yeah, so question about Jedi housing or Bill. So one of, and I'll go back and I'll pull more specific information about honors and our learning communities for you all. I will say we haven't had as much intentional partnership around our Bill community this year as we would like, but we're continuing to work with our campus partners because I think a lot of times, and quite honestly, if I'm being very, very blunt, the success of a lot of these programs are reliant on strong campus partnerships, but quite honestly, strong student interest. So, I think having, I'll be honest, I think a fair number of our students chose to live in Bill because it was on the first floor of Newhall, which fair, absolutely. And I think if we continue to see an interest in the community and are able to pair that with a strong campus partnership, then we will likely continue to see it in either the same location or a similar location for next year. Yeah, it's a good question.
Any further? Fabian Morales.
In regards to the overall bill increase not being at the same rate as inflation, do you have any idea what sort of areas of the university might start to be reassessed or looked at again just to offset the difference there?
Yeah, good question. Just to be clear, the rate we're proposing is about equivalent to inflation. If you look at inflation, it's like 1/10 of 1% difference. So it really is around the inflationary number. That being said, the leadership of the campus is just starting those discussions to identify how we can be more efficient, how we can find cost savings, and how can we figure out how to keep everything in place that needs to happen going forward. So, we've do a lot of things on this campus, and we need to evaluate what's working, what may not be working, and how do we coalesce around the highest priority services and functions to support your education. So it's too early to be talking about that because we haven't really had those discussions yet, but we're actively working on it right now. Good question.
Ali Sutherland?
Hey, good evening. Pretty much the same question, but I was curious, how does student population count towards that? I know, or I shouldn't say no, I believe there was something that went out earlier that said that on one hand we had a larger surplus of students that registered to either transfer in or first year students, and yet it didn't reach the goal that we were hoping for. So I was curious, how does that work out with your math for next year?
Yeah, I think we are on pretty much track with what our budget was set for this year. So we track our enrollment for the fall and then the spring, and typically there's a drop-off rate from fall to spring. And we just finished reviewing that currently, and we're pretty close to our budget. We're down about 20 or 30 students compared to our budget, so I think we're holding our own for this year. We see a little bit of a drop-off next year. You could talk about enrollment or you could talk about retention. We have, I think, a bigger challenge on the retention side right now, where we're not retaining as many students that start here, and that's of some concern. So there's a lot of activity going on to try to figure out how can we retain the students that decide to come here, and also we're spending quite a bit of energy on ensuring that we can provide enough financial aid to attract students to coming to Westfield State in a competitive fashion. So we see enrollment sort of stabilizing around 3,000-ish full-time undergraduate students. And so in some years we're a little bit above, and some years we're a little bit below, but we're assuming about 3,000 for next year, which is about what we have now, give or take, probably a swing of 50 to 70 students. So, and of course, once you land that plane, then you've got to figure out how you're going to ensure that you have enough revenue in place to support the operation of the university given enrollment. We receive about 40% of our total budget from the state. They provide $42-ish million to the university. So the rest of the money comes from student fees. So enrollment is very important to the university. I don't know if, Kevin, you want to add anything to that? I know you're sitting in the back. I don't know if you're chomping at your...
You're doing a great job up there, Steve.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further? Fabian Morales?
So as an art student, I hear a lot that the students feel like their studio fees aren't necessarily being used in the ways that they feel that they should be, just because a lot of classes require students to buy their materials anyway. So I was wondering if it would be possible to see the breakdowns of how much of those fees are being accumulated, how they're being used, and sort of where that money is going, just for students to see.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that in a little more detail and speak to the art department to get more specific information. But we do, the fees that we do set up, we do track separately. So we should be able to tell you where how much money is coming in, where's it going, and is there anything left over. So if you're interested, if you can give me your contact information, I'll pursue finding out the answers to that and see if I can get clarity on it for you.
Thank you.
I can't tell you offhand right now, but that information should exist.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you. All right. Thank you for that amazing presentation, and thank you for having such an open schedule that we're able to reschedule a week after. It's been a while since we've been here, so it's good to see all your faces. As you can see, the room has changed quite a bit. We have the 2 new TVs. We got rid of the projector, and no more agendas are being printed. If you would like one, you can ask for one to be printed, but other than that, they'll be up here for everybody to see, so we can save a little bit of paper. Yeah, there's more updates and more changes coming in the next few weeks, so be on the lookout for those. Now, I have a lot of updates and information to share since it has been almost 2 months. So I'll try my best to be quick with it. First, I have an exciting partnership announcement from the President's Office. Westfield State is joining the Springfield Museum's Educational Partner Program, and with this, you can now present your student ID for free admission to any of these 5 museums: the Amazing World of Dr. Seuss Museum and Sculpture Garden, the George Walter Vincent Smith Art Museum, the Springfield Science Museum, the Michelle and Donald Damore Museum of Fine Art, and the Lyman and Mary Wood Museum of Springfield History. So if you guys are ever in Springfield and want to go to those, be sure to bring your student ID and show it at the door for some free admission. Second, this Thursday, the Veteran and Military Services Center is going to be spending the entire day with me making Red Friday bracelets. And RED, or Red Friday, stands for Remember Everyone Deployed, which honors U.S. military service members who are currently deployed. The idea behind it is to wear red or one of these bracelets on Friday or any day to show these service members that they are remembered and appreciated. This event will be taking place in their offices in Scanlon Hall Room 337, starting at around 9:30 in the morning and running for the entire day or less than that, depending on how fast these bracelets get made. I've been working on Rob to try and set up a time and day for a while, since I think halfway through last semester, so I'm glad we finally got it finished. And if you're available on Thursday, please stop by. Rob said they will be buying snacks, so even if you come by and make 1 or 2 bracelets, it's going to be a good time. Third, the club fair was last Thursday, and it was amazing. I got to talk to and interact with all of the clubs that were tabling and saw a lot of engagement. I was also able to share with literally every single club that was there the finance proposal information and how big our finance proposal pool still was. So if they need money, they can always ask. I've already gotten a lot of people to reach out to me via email to set up meetings to talk, or they're going to go down and see Matt Rashley, because I also told them to do that, because I sometimes have no idea with the finance stuff. But hopefully the finance committee will be busy in the next couple of weeks because of that. And hopefully we can get some of this money to our clubs rather than just holding on to it and nothing happening. And speaking of finance, as you've all noticed, we no longer have a VP of Finance, as Zeke has stepped away from the role. However, as you also know, we've sent out an email to the entire campus community to search for our next Vice President of Finance. So if you know anybody who might be interested, send them my way and have them send me an email. We hope to have those interested reach out and be interviewed this week and be appointed by the next meeting. So hopefully we can get that done. Another finance piece, I will be forming an ad hoc committee to review the finance bylaws, because they're a couple years old and there's a lot of them and it's really confusing and a lot of silly finance language. So this committee will be chaired by myself, working with the parliamentarian and our advisor, Matt D'Elia, as well as 4 just general members of the Senate. And that can be any person from any class, any position. So if you're interested, it'll be a quick and temporary committee. So just let me know by the end of the meeting if you would like to be on that committee, and I will send the information. Now to something a little less dry. I would like to formally and officially appoint Celia Rosino to be our Vice President of Community Engagement and Outreach for the spring 2026 semester.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll now vote on this matter. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations.
All right, we're just getting started. I also moved to appoint Eli. Could you remind me of your last name? Baez. Eli Baez to be a rep at large for the spring 2026 year.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint Eli Baez as rep at large. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll now vote on this matter. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations, Eli.
And finally, I move to appoint Julian Ogier to be the new class of 2029 president for the spring 2026 semester.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint Julian Ogier as first year president.
Yes.
First year president. Is there any discussion? All in favor, or no, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations.
All right, we're nearing the end. With great excitement, I have something amazing to announce. Barney and I have been working with Attorney Phelps to plan an advocacy day at the State House, and it's finally coming to fruition. We're hoping to get as many Westfield State students as we can, obviously, to outshine our Eastern counterparts in the state university system. So I will be soon I will be sending out an email to all of you, as well as a bunch of other students from different majors, with a flyer, information, and a sign-up sheet. The whole basis of this will be to meet with our Western Mass legislators, as well as those from your hometowns if you do choose to go. This is a great opportunity to network, to advocate for the larger issues we're having here, like deferred maintenance and the BRIGHT Act. It's also a great opportunity just to get out there and talk to our state legislators, and also go to the State House, meet with potentially with some members of the council of presidents, as well as Dr. Thompson. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out or wait for that email. And finally, I would like to move forward with our parliamentarian election. With that being said, are there any nominations for parliamentarian?
Angelina Casella.
I motion to nominate Carly Beeman-Durfer for parliamentarian.
Carly, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
All right, that's one nomination. Are there any other nominations for parliamentarian? Melissa Kuznowski.
Motion to cast blue ballot.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, just to give a little preface, this means we're just going to vote vocally, more or less. So now that we'll vote to do this thing, and then we'll do a vocal vote instead of having the index card. All right. Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. We'll now vote on casting a single ballot. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Yeah.
Congratulations, Carly. Yeah, come join us. All right, and with that is the end of my long report. Travis?
Oh, what's that? Any other questions, comments, or concerns for Justin Wall? Anything at all? Seeing none, thank you, Justin.
Now for your Board of Trustees
report, Barney Garcia.
Okay, so hopefully it's not as long as previous, but I'll try to go as fast as I can. As you know, board duties are sometimes very so dry. So, good evening. It is so great to be back at SGA, and for my fellow seniors, great to be back for our final stretch in the game. Getting to this point has certainly been a long time coming, that's for sure. While the semester may have just started, I can guarantee you that with everything going on, summer will be here just before we know it. So with now all of that in mind, I have 2 items I'd like to report on. I do a bit of catch-up to play, so get ready. The first part is very lengthy. So first, the Board of Trustees met on December 18th, 2025 in the Loman Living Room in Scanlon Hall for a full day of back-to-back meetings. As many of you might know, there's a lot of discussion underway for the rebranding of the Westfield State University image. From changes to our logo, our favorite owl, to the way we broadcast our image to the public, the university's marketing department is seeking to really emphasize the strengths Westfield State has to offer. Though it's not just the strengths of the institution, it's also our strengths. Hardworking, determined, passionate, words that I hope resonate with you on some level or another. Beyond the career preparation, educational attainment, and networking that the university offers, the message being put out to the world speaks to the caliber of the students that we have to offer to the workforce. As such, the folks from Institutional Advancement have been hard at work at devising their own campaign towards outreach. Given the very expansive and diverse networks and connections that the university has, the next step being taken is to look towards the future. With the BRIGHT Act currently underway in the Massachusetts State Senate, we continue to advocate for funding for deferred maintenance needs, but also that of the Human Health Hub, a state-of-the-art science building for our health sciences majors. This new facility will be the beating heart of our region's education, training, and certification of medical professionals, fulfilling a deep need for healthcare access in our communities. And so, the ask is being made of the globally spanning Westfield State University community for help. While DCAM, WSU's landlord, simply put, will pay for most of the costs should the BRIGHT Act pass, the university will still be on the hook for the remainder of what looks like to be a $20 million bill, though respectively this is out of $120 million for the cost of the building. Now, to embark on this campaign, the Board of Trustees authorized $3.1 million in budgeting to be expended over the next 5 years. This effort will be directed at fundraising the needed amount for the university's expected capital project contribution amount, as well as setting up the long-term groundwork for deeper connection with the philanthropists within the global WSU alumni community. Looking internally, though, enrollment for the university, as VP Tasksar has aptly put it, has seemed to have leveled out. Despite the enrollment cliff that is the talk of the broader industry, the university has continued to persevere and was becoming an increasingly challenging gambit towards student recruitment. Though we sit on the lower end of overall headcount compared to our 5 sister schools, many of our facilities sit at relative capacity. On the retention side, Westfield State comparatively sits in a position of recovery. While there's still an incredible amount of work to be done in the realm of retention, metaphorical dividends have been paying out from the roles that our support services play in providing needed assistance to our students. For many of our peers, these crucial supports are the make it or break it towards degree attainment. As the Commonwealth continues to explore Westfield State as a pilot towards success grant funds at the university level, I am highly confident that we can expect positive metrics relating to student performance at the end of fiscal year 2026, marking year 2 of the initiative. Speaking of fiscal years, the board was given a presentation on the overview of the university's financial position. With FY25 numbers locked in, a snapshot was taken for FY26 to compare mid-year amounts. While I don't have terribly exciting news on this front, this is another integral area that has been seeing vast attempts at leveling out by the finance department. Currently, the university stands at a modestly healthy position. While certain aspects that exceed institutional authority, like pensions and debt, skew reporting towards unfavorable directions, other indicators point towards sound financial stewardship of the institution. Outside threats, such as deferred maintenance, sunsetting of funds, and enrollment drops, continue to be threats to the university's bottom line. With respect to deferred maintenance in particular, our residential facilities continue to stand at maximum capacity as building closures have further limited existing supply. Overall, the picture that is continuously being painted is that, regardless of the institution's internal controls and finance procedures, its overall financial position is highly dependent on funding from the Commonwealth. This reality is part of our conversations around the state taking on its role of responsibly managing its assets. To wrap this up, after a multi-year exploratory effort, the board's Governance and Nominations Committee presented to the trustees a proposal for the restructuring of the board. Condensing 7 committees down into 4, the board is seeking to streamline its operations and emphasize its role in the governance of the institution, not its operation. Lastly, due to procedural error, the Board of Trustees met again on February 2nd, 2026 for a special meeting to reconfirm the $3.1 million capital campaign amount, as well as the board restructuring proposal. The next Board of Trustees meeting will be held later this month on Thursday, February 19th. As a shameless plug, I encourage anyone interested in board governance to attend. As my term slowly approaches its termination, I put it out there to any of our freshmen, sophomores, or juniors to consider pursuing the role of student trustee. I will be repeating this more like a broken record as we progress throughout the semester, but I hope to start planting the seed now. So to walk back from board business, I wanted to share an effort that I briefly explained in previous reports. For many of my community college transfer counterparts, you may remember CCSLA. For everyone else, this organization is the Community College Student Leadership Association. It is an annual summit of the 15 Massachusetts community colleges to discuss, share, and brainstorm local and systemic issues facing SGAs. This conference, having personally attended twice, was a great opportunity to learn valuable leadership lessons around resilience, but also persistence, and also around camaraderie and teamwork. I believe this experience is something that, if we could model at the university levels, all of our SGAs could highly benefit from. This experience is a great opportunity to meet like-minded, passionate people who care very deeply about sound governance. While I realize this cannot be done overnight, I've been working towards organizing, coordinating, and arranging pieces together for a Western Mass Summit of Student Government Associations. Using deferred maintenance as our primer for conversations, this can serve as the foundation for connection and partnership on other issues that affect our institutions. For the past few months, this has been an endeavor I've been pursuing in my spare time, but I realize I cannot do this alone, so I will do the one thing I struggle most at, asking for help. So even if you are graduating this year, I implore you to join me in this effort in extending this metaphorical branch. If external relations, networking, and legacy building resonate with you, come see me after SGA. I'd say this might be for you. So to wrap this up, I've been a little teensy bit behind, so I'll be posting my office hours next week. I do apologize for the convenience on that front. Aside from that, I'm happy to take any questions, comments, or concerns, but otherwise that will conclude my report. Thank you.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Barney? Seeing none, thank you. And as Travis is not back yet, we will move on to the Dining Services Committee report from Angelina Casella.
I don't like this podium. Hey friends! I want to point something out just because I noticed it, but our entire exec board now has glasses, every single one of them. And I'm a very observant person, so I wanted to point it out, why not? Okay, good evening everyone. Welcome back. Here are the updates from the Dining Services Committee. I'm gonna make it as short as possible because I know we've heard a lot about dining today. I am happy to report that the Common Goods Pantry has added Friday afternoon hours to better serve the campus community. Also, as mentioned before, the soft serve ice cream machines will be running Monday through Friday, and we will have novelties on the weekends. We are also looking into adding more topping options and making it more like an ice cream bar. Regarding the daily menu, we are focusing on quality improvements, including the use of freshly sliced deli meats, homemade soups. Sushi will now be available on Tuesdays for lunch. Hot sandwiches will be served on Thursdays, and a carving station will vary between the chefs and simply prepared stations throughout the week. There will also continue to be a pasta bake at the pizza station, as it has been very, very successful. Jenny will be hosting a sweet potato bar this Wednesday. She is the dietitian here, and then Maria will also be serving eggplant dishes this Thursday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we are also introducing chili to our rotation. Over at the marketplace, we have a new vendor, which has resulted in better prices for students, so lower costs means I get to spend less. Please be aware that the bistro oven will be offline for a while because of maintenance, and Finally, for Valentine's Day, both the Owl Cafe and Ely Harvest will be featuring special themed drinks and foods. And also, the Owl Cafe right now has fried Oreos, so get them while they last. And have a great week.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Amy Casella? Seeing none, thank you. And now for your Vice President's report of academic life, Melissa Guzman.
It's great to see you all again, and congratulations to the newly appointed. I have a University Curriculum Committee report from December 19th. We met at 1:40. The discussion started with a small bulk of environmental science courses, beginning with Environmental Science 100, Nature and Wellness. It is a new WISE inclusive forest bathing course. It's exploring nature and having observations, 1.5 credits. Right now they're undergoing minor course revisions. The motion to move on to the next steps has passed. Environmental Science 240, Writing for Environmental Science, is fully WISE inclusive. It is 3 credits, having minor changes to core and course descriptions to accurately update student learning outcomes. The motion passed. Environmental Science 2XX, Intro to Horticulture. It's a new course, 4 credits. Students will learn the basics of horticulture. It includes a lab. The motion passed. Environmental Science 311, Environmental Monitoring and Analysis, has a credit change from 3 to 4 credits as a lab portion will be added. There's minor course revisions to match the updates. The motion passed to move forward. Environmental Science 390, Environmental Science Senior Seminar, is 3 credits. Senior standing is a must. Minor changes are undergoing with the course description and course updates. The motion to go to the next steps passed. Environmental Science 2XX, Wetland Plant Identification, another new course, 4 credits. This is an option course for current wetland planning and management minors, and a wetland certificate is also being developed. The motion to keep going passed. Movement Science 3XX, Data Analysis and Nutrition, is 3 credits, WISE inclusive. The prerequisites are FYJ 101 and Comp. Motion to move forward to the next steps passed. Language Culture 201, Women in Spanish Speaking World, is a new introduced course. They are updating their title and description, adding prereq to accurately meet the new Gen Ed requirements. Motion to move to the next steps passed. Spanish 215, Intermediate Spanish 1, is 3 credits. They have updates to their title and description. Motion to move to the next steps passed. Spanish 2XX, Intermediate Spanish, is a new course. It's 3 credits. The prereq is Spanish 104 or equivalent, or speak with the advisor. Motion to move forward passed. Integrative Experience 401 is 1 credit. It will reflect on and learn from your educational experience here at Westfield State. Minor changes to accurately update course. Motion to keep going to the next steps passed. Philosophy 109, Intro to Philosophy of Religion, is WISE inclusive. It has minor course revisions to accurately update student learning. Motion passed. History 352, the American Revolutionary Era and Early Republic, 1763 to 1815, is 3 credits. Small course revisions. Motion to move next steps passed. History 362, Native American History, minor course revision, prereq removal to make it easier for students to take the course. Motion for the changes passed. Next, I want to announce that there are 2 seats available on UCC. Although some find it boring, it's actually a great way to get some curriculum understanding and experience. If you are interested this semester, please reach out to me. We meet the 1st and 3rd Fridays of every month from 1:40 to 2:55.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Melissa Kuzminski? Seeing none, thank you.
for your Vice President Support of Student Life, Travis McClellan.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Okay, I have a few things for you tonight. First off, I'm excited to announce the launch of the Downtown Shuttle. Luke knows what I'm talking about. This is a brand new shuttle run by Public Safety with stops at Stop and Shop and Walmart. It begins at Scanlon and will move in roughly 15-minute increments between those three locations. The hours will be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Starting today, it's in the middle of going right now, in fact. That's pretty fun, isn't it? Some people are hopefully at Stop and Shop or Walmart right now. That's exciting. Well, maybe not inherently, but they even got that joke. The goal of this shuttle is to give students who may not have access to a car the ability to go downtown to pick up some groceries, get food, whatever they want to do or need to do. All right, that's it on that. Second, I met with Maggie last Thursday. And Maggie, yeah, that Maggie. And among other things, we talked about the Student Leadership Awards, very exciting, not to be confused with Blue Key Awards, of course. The goal of these awards is to celebrate student leaders and involvement. Individual students and student organizations can be nominated by absolutely anybody, including themselves. And the deadline to nominate is Friday, February 20th. Here, you know what? Happy birthday, Luke. All right. There's plenty of copies around, of this flyer around the SG room, and obviously I just passed one around to Luke, and Luke will pass it around to you eventually. It'll make it to you, I promise. There's a lot of problems. Yeah, trust me. Luke can handle it. There's also an email sent last Monday, during the snow day, by Maggie with the link to nominate, as well as some other information in case you're curious. All right. I also met with Athletics Director Dick Lenfest that day, same day I met with Maggie. And he's happy to announce a new intramural pickleball partnership with the Pickler in downtown Westfield. Oh, Maggie's surprised by that. Oh, look at that. Yeah, isn't that exciting? Students and faculty, students and fac staff, fun fact, can now sign up for pickleball at $5 an hour on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. There should be an email coming out soon from athletics with the link, some more information, et cetera, et cetera. So that's pretty neat. Transportation, I think, has to be provided on your own, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they'll come up with something. Who knows? Lastly, Shannon reached out today and asked me if I could find students for a lunch interview with candidates for the Counseling Center's outreach counselor position. It's a mouthful. This is the position Kurt held, who I'm sure most of you are familiar with. He came down last semester and had a meditation workshop with us. Kurt was a really nice guy. We're really sad to have him not here anymore. He's not dead, don't worry. He's still alive. All right. The first lunch interview is scheduled for Thursday, February 12th. And I'm passing around a sign-up sheet. Happy birthday. Again. Of course, Brian. It's 12:15 to 1:15 at the DC for lunch, and you'd be asking interview questions for this particular candidate for this position. There are more candidates to come, and probably next week I'll have more information on more lunches, which you can question more candidates. Very exciting. Yeah. Oh, almost forgot my third flyer. Boy, do I have a flyer.
Thank you.
Yeah, Luke is actually the third person to see that. It's a beautiful flyer made by our very own Celia. Celia did a great job. Thank you, Celia. And it has all the relevant information. I, again, put a bunch of them out here. Soon dining. We'll have some, hopefully. I'll get some Res Life. There's an email sent out. Hope you looked at your emails. They're sent out. Yeah. That's all I have.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Travis? Christina.
Hi, Chris.
Travis, thank you for report. I just want to ask, is there a way for the shuttle to be tracked? Like, is it on the same app for the downtown shuttle?
Oh, golly, is there. It's on Busware. It should be on Busware. I don't know if it's on there yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Don't you worry.
A point of information. It's already on there.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You should be able to view it now. The route is already on there. So just make sure you download it. If it's not working at any time, just let us know.
Talk about exciting. Wow. Where is it, Jacob Constant? Where is it?
Currently at Scanlon.
Ooh. Look at that.
Is the password the same
It should be like the same like drop down, right? Oh yeah, nailed it right on the head. Hi, Vivian.
Where might students meet the shuttle on its first round to the center?
It should be the front of Stop and Shop in the front of Walmart, roughly.
Yes.
From on campus.
Oh, Scanlon. Scanlon front near the PVTA? Where the,
Yes.
yeah, look at that. Thank you, Luke. Much appreciated.
Any further?
Thank you.
Now for your Vice President's report of student belonging, Lorraine Fernandez.
Okay. Hi everyone. I missed you all last Tuesday, but not gonna lie, I really enjoyed that second snow day. But I hope you all had a great long weekend and enjoyed your snow days just like I did. Today I just came up with a few updates and announcements. So as you all know, last semester was the start of the Belonging Committee, where we successfully had a number of meetings and we were able to discuss important topics that I've rolled over to this semester. So with that being said, our first meeting will be on Friday, February 13th at 5 p.m. through Zoom. Next, the Westfield Soup Kitchen trip is this Friday, February 6th at 4 p.m. And I appreciate everyone who has signed up to volunteer. This is our second collaborative effort between SGA, Veterans and Military Services, and the Interfaith Center this year, well, this whole academic year. It's such an amazing way to give back to our community, and I for one, am very excited to share this experience one last time with all of you. Third and lastly, we're still looking for Blue Key Committee members. I'm looking for one more first-year rep and one more sophomore rep. Our first meeting is on Wednesday, February 11th at 4 p.m. in University Hall, Room B. The purpose of this committee, again, is to recognize student leadership involvement and school spirit throughout the academic year. We'll be working on the process of selecting the students who will be honored with the Blue Key Award during our end-of-year SGA banquet. So if you're looking for a committee, it's a really fun and exciting and rewarding committee. So please reach out to me at the end of the meeting or through Teams if you'd like to join the committee. That's all.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Lorraine? Seeing none, thank you, Lorraine.
Thank you.
Now for your CAB report, Matt Krusha.
Oh boy, this weather's been no joke. All right, happy Tuesday. All right, so obviously last week didn't meet because of the weather. So last week, or the first week we got back, CAP had their Winter Wonderland with the Night Owls breakfast in the DC, Icy Nights, which was like an ice skating type deal, and Scanlon. And then this past Friday was bingo, which was obviously a vibe per usual. I gotta love it. So for this week tonight, we have trivia night right across the hall at 7 o'clock. And then coming up is just a more galore the weekend of February 20th. So that's still 2 weeks out with Drag Bingo, which is going to be a great time. So putting that on y'all's radar. And that's all I got for you tonight.
I have any questions for Matt Krusha?
Oh, nice.
For those who may be unfamiliar with Drag Bingo, would you like to give a few words on what that is?
So Drag Bingo is like regular bingo, but we have a drag queen. I'm not familiar with. Do you know who it is?
Unreleased.
Huh?
It's unreleased.
Unreleased information. Stay tuned. But there is a drag queen. Got some sex toys in there. I don't like if. But yeah, that for some of the prize for bingo.
Any further? Seeing none.
All right.
And now for the class of 2026 report, D'Angeli's Ozuna Sendo.
Hi guys. So this Thursday, the Class of 2026 Council will be hosting 100 Days for Commencement Toast. This is to celebrate seniors as they enter their final phase in their academic journey. We're almost graduating, guys. That's scary. So the event will be taking place this Thursday, February 5th, from 7 to 9 p.m. at Westview River Brewing Company in Southwick. This is free for all senior students, and to be able to attend, you will need to show a university ID and state issue ID, because this was limited to individuals 21 and older. And to ensure its accessibility and safety, we'll be having a shuttle bus running back and forth starting at 6:45 p.m. in Scanlon to Westview River Brewing Company, and that will be going the whole time until 9 p.m. We'll be having DJ Prince for music, food from Hemus Creative Catering. We will have a full service cash bar and a 360 photo booth. Also, the participants will be able to enter a raffle for first place, a free cap and gown, second place, a diploma friend, and third place, it will be Westview State merch. And additionally, the first 100 seniors in attendance will be a travel mug. So, get there, 7 on the dot. Get there. It says Westview State University in one side and Class of 2026 in the other. So I hope to see every single senior in this building there. Ali. Yeah. That's it.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for DD? Lorraine Fernandez.
Congratulations on your first report.
Thank you.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you, DD. Is there any new business? Seeing none, announcements. Fabian Brown.
I just wanted to plug sales SOAR program that they're going to be starting for the first time this weekend. It is a great opportunity for students to explore their strengths and learn leadership skills. That's going to be running this weekend from the 6th to the 8th. Highly encourage everyone to let their friends know. A really great opportunity. Reach out to Ashley for more information.
Justin Wall.
Thanks, Francis. Just a reminder, if you want to be on the committee to review the finance bylaws, please see me after the meeting. 4 members, anybody's welcome. Any further? DeAngelis Ozuna Sen.
102 days before commencement, guys.
That's crazy. Wild before I graduate. Holy cow. Anyway, Angelina Costello. Zara Rivet.
Here.
Christopher Lannon. Here. DeAngelis Ozuna Sandoval.
Here.
Raul Rosario. Brenna Giuliani.
Here.
Luke Staley.
Here.
Will Honorado.
Here.
Melissa Hannafin.
Here.
Raymond Croto. Sophia Rudenko. Aiden Gomez. Fabian Morales.
Here.
Lucia Sadura.
Here.
Liv Carney.
Here.
Carly Biemendorfer.
Here.
Matthew Krusha.
Here.
Cole DeSantos.
Here.
Ali Sutherland.
Here.
Maria Renta Marrero.
Here.
Eli Baez.
Right here.
And Julian Ozer.
Here.
If there is no additional business, I call to adjourn the February 3rd meeting until February 10th, 2026.